Well, we're back. Sorry, we done that for the grunting types out there. They're mostly English viewers, so we thought we'd cover both bases. But, yep, game one, I mean, TNC, decisive, really. Game two is already underway with the draft. We'll get in there in a second. But what I want to hear is, like, before you look at the draft, before you get a little bit back, what's your thought process for EVOS? How do they reset for game two?
Take a chill pill, lane properly, don't let our Warden be picked. I suppose don't let the Shaker maybe be picked. But there is a spoiler.
All right, I'm afraid the draft has begun, and Coach Liz, I guess they don't want to pay the big bucks because they are clearly not listening. If we have a look in here, you can already see the Shaker coming out. There's no ban on the Arc Warden.
Is that Shaker?
Yep.
Is that the cow with the totem on his back?
Yeah, he's a little bit of a wild one. You never know what he's going to do next.
All right, wait, are my eyes deceiving me, or did they let the Pagna go through as well?
It seems they did. They were more prioritizing the Templar Assassin. They didn't want to be one of those teams that got that happen.
So when you lose to something, you just let them pick it again. Is that the thought process?
And what you also do is you ban the hero that, you know, the Necrophos, which could be picked alongside the Pugna because you didn't pick it yourself. Instead, you focus on a Silencer pick, which we've seen backfire a lot for teams because a lot of teams have started to realize if you just run at this hero, he kind of dies.
He kind of dies, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just dies a little bit.
He's semi-Paulson, basically.
I mean, the hero is good. Silencer is definitely a decent support on the lane. Arcane's Curse, it's one of the most annoying spells in the laning stage. And what's also so strong about it is that it costs almost no mana. So you're always going to be able to spam it out.
Well, not anymore. I mean, come on. They did up the mana cost.
They did up it a bit.
A little sliver.
A bit. But
you get one less use. It's like Enchantress with her Nature's Attendant. You get one less use.
So there's that, but you still have Global, which is kind of nice. Overall, I really like the opening from TNC again. Shaker and Pagna is just very, very strong. Is Nyx banned? Yeah, the first ban Nyx as well. And the Brood is banned too. I mean, and they go for
They go for a third pick Terrorblade. And this is, I mean, this is the king of carries right now. Like, the nerfs that have come out to certain other carries that were very popular, this is resurging as the go-to pick right now.
Yeah. And it's that, like, they won versus a TB, so why not pick them themselves, right? Pick it themselves.
He's a potent hero. I mean, you hear me say, like, what I love about this especially is what we noticed that Terrorblades do a lot more. You know, courtesy of Envy was the inspirational original.
Envy?
And everyone ignored him. The Blink Dagger Terrorblades. And now everyone's like, you know what? This is actually crazy. Especially if you have something like an Earthshaker. You're like, okay, Envy? I'm going in. I need someone with me.
All right, so yeah, all right, you can do that. The Blink Terrorblade is definitely strong if you feel strong enough to do it, like because it can backfire, right? It's also really nice as you can blink in and sunder, so that's pretty good. But overall, you cannot run away from that Terrorblade, and it's definitely an interesting item choice for him. I like the blink on him. Overall, though, the only thing he has to do this game is stay back with his Pagna, and as he's decrepifying and Nether blasting the tower, he needs to be that extra right-click damage.
Let's be totally honest here, though. Tim's, after last game, the way he was going in deep, there's no way he's not on mic right now going,
oh, shit.
Dude,
Zeus,
join
though.
in.
Zeus, though. The thing is, the Terrorblade, I like it, but at the same time, you're playing versus Silencer and you're playing versus Zeus. The good thing about TB is that you kind of go for that Manta anyway, or the BKB at least. So the Silencer, you're gonna itemize naturally versus him. You're not some life stealer that's forced to buy a BKB, you know, or Manta. Like, so it's good. Like in that aspect, it's good. But still, you have ways of blowing up that Terrorblade. You have the Tiny. If he gets a decent blink timing, you blink on the TB. You use Global and perhaps Zeus ulti. He can die. He's not like he has high armor, but he's squishy, so he can still die to nukes.
Zeus also a very good pick against the Pugna, of course. The eternally undead child not going to have a fun time here if he decrepifies himself.
Yeah, Zeus is like, I love it here as well because it's good versus Shaker and Pugna too. As like Zeus is really strong versus heroes with blinks because of his passive as well and because of his ultimate. So overall, Zeus is a really nice pickup. The problem there is TA banned out. Yeah, she is. All right, so that's good as well. As what other hero is here? Like Storm could be picked. Not great versus Silencer though, but Storm would be greedy for TNC, that's for sure. But it's one of those heroes that's really good versus Zeus. However, there's Silencer, there's Tiny. There's ways for them to punish that Storm pick, so maybe it's not the best one. Mirana instead.
An interesting way to go. If you get caught with a Tiny with a good blink time, you're still going to die. This so, especially with Global Silence as well, if you think about Mirana, she's so wholly reliant on dodging people out of leap in fights.
And with the last word, you only have one leap as well to use. So and Zeus actually dishes out so much damage. Mirana is fairly squishy here. So I'm wondering where they will lane her, as it can be mid or offlane right now. I mean, yeah, Mirana is played on 5 or 4, but I don't think that's gonna be that.
When was the last time?
When was the last?
Yeah.
It wasn't so far ago actually. Like a week ago, I think I saw someone play roaming Mirana. It wasn't great.
Or like, I mean, like, was it competitively, or are you talking in your pubs? This is the problem.
Competitively.
All right, I just needed to confirm.
Yeah.
Faceless Void, though, decent response, but also problematic because of Mirana. I mean, you can dodge an arrow, but it's the time you waste in a chrono doing so.
But overall, a nice setup for everyone else in his team, for Zeus to use all his nukes and spam out his spells, and it's good versus Terrorblade. Not really good because of the Pugna, as he can decrepify, but at the same time then he's just helping Zeus. But not really good versus Shaker either, because Shaker can fissure block you when you go into that chrono. But you can't think like that. You cannot be a Void that's afraid of the fissure, right? So I like the Void pickup. It's not that bad.
I think the biggest concern now that TNC have is you look at EVOS's draft, and they have drafted in a way that they are ready to go late if they need be. And the threat of Terrorblade has been minimized because of their pick. So now TNC, it looks like they need to complete the draft with something that bids low, right? Like looks for a quicker finish time.
They could definitely go that way.
I think you like aim for something that ends around the timing that Terrorblade picks up a BKB, because arguably there's not many heroes that have a stronger power spike than a Terrorblade with BKB. Right, because uninterrupted opportunity to sunder. Of course, the Faceless Void is still a risk.
I like BKB is definitely good here versus Zeus, and it's a good pickup versus Silencer too. Not the best versus Void though, as if he chronos you earlier, then you pop your BKB, you're still dead. So that's kind of an issue. But overall, what else do they need? The question is where this Mirana is laning, because you have the Pugna. So if Pugna and Earthshaker are offlane, then that. But actually, they've
done a support Pugna.
They did a support Pugna, so
They've done,
that might happen.
I think was it Ninja Boogie?
Yeah.
So it was a pos 5 Pugna.
So if it's a pos 5 Pugna, this whole thing becomes much clearer. However, last ban was PL from Team EVOS. So they
believe it. They believe it as well. They believe there's definitely a Pugna support. Of course, the Elder Titan ban makes a lot of sense with the Faceless Void. Also, a natural counter to Terrorblade due to the armor. Of course, you get rid of that.
What else is it good against? ET?
What, ET? So it's good with the Chrono combo with the Earth Splitter, but then
it's good with Zeus as well. It's very good with Zeus.
True.
ET plus Zeus are one of the sickest combinations.
Because the magic resistance.
Yeah, magic resistance. So you lose that, and then when you're Terrorblade, you just melt, you disappear. So that's pretty good.
They did complete their lineup side of EVOS with that Lina, which isn't bad here. You can shred through the Mirana, so maybe the intention... Could this be a Zeus support? Oh, no.
Oh no, they didn't ban it.
They banned it last time because they were worried about this. The Huskar is... You'd think he'd be worried about the Faceless Void, but you come online so much quicker, and you look at the lineup of Team EVOS, they are wholly basing their gamble on the magic damage primarily through the early mid-game.
And then you have your... Like, you need your Void to blow up the Huskar in the chrono, like later on, and early on you need the Tiny to somehow do it.
But now you got this issue, right? The Earthshaker is a perfect reset because the time it buys is usually enough for the Huskar to just turn around and say, who the hell's killing me? I think I'm killing them.
The problem is, yeah, that's definitely true. The problem for EVOS is you have this long cooldown on the chrono, and if you use it for anything else, but Huskar, they can lose this game with first Roshan, sub 20 minutes. I've seen it happen so many times versus Huskars.
And that's the thing. You look at their draft and you realize they've got these big ultimates, but these aren't going to be, like, this is what we see a lot of these days where they get used to the insurance policies. But in this type of game, you have to use an insurance policy. It's not a choice anymore. So you're going to see this scenario where maybe Silence gets thrown out for someone that's not Huskar because Burning Spears does add more damage, but that's not the big problem. But for the Faceless Void, anything but the Huskar is unacceptable.
Yep.
And that's scary because they've got a Terrorblade as well. So if this goes late, TNC, they've got this bridge where Huskar starts to curb off, but then spikes up again anyway because of the talents. And then Terrorblade's buy in. And they don't have to be in the same place at the same time.
EVOS, man, they have to have really good lanes in this game. If they fail in the laning stage, it's going to be so hard for them later on. It's going to be so hard.
And I'm quite concerned about the combos TNC run because these are pretty potent. The Earthshaker plus the Mirana, which does a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's also really nice, decent lane. It was a bit better before, but it's still alright. It's still a pretty strong lane. So you have the Shaker Mirana and the Huskar. Most likely Huskar and the Pugna on the other lane. And then, oh, actually it's going to be Huskar mid, sorry. And then Terrorblade plus Pugna on the other lane. Most likely it's going to be Huskar mid. And the problem with Zeus is, I think Zeus should do fine versus Huskar. If it's that...
Nah, it's a support. So Facehugger is, of course, the mid, so he'll be...
Alright. So it's going to be the Lina mid. I think... Actually, I think this is better for them.
Much better. Like, you actually need to aggress the Mirana super hard, and that's what the Zeus will be able to do.
Overall, like, Lina... What's Lina doing here as their mid is it's bringing some more right-click damage to the table. And overall, I honestly think this is better. Even in the laning stage, perhaps early on, the first few levels, Zeus is better. But later on, Lina scales much.
Did he just...
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got it. All right.
He got it.
Easy D-ward for him there.
It's gonna be... Their wards should be dewarded as well. They should know now. But overall, yeah, the Lina pick might be their way of winning this game. Like, if there's a silver lining in Team EVOS' draft, it's this Lina, definitely.
So yeah, it's that case of, like, the Huskar is usually dominant, but the difference here is the additional attack range means you can't actually reach the Lina.
I was worried for them. I was super worried because I was in this mindset that Zeus is a core, but he isn't, so there is a way for them to win, definitely. It's not easy. It's still a Huskar game. We all hate last week Huskars, but...
The new brood of our time.
Yeah.
They might actually try for a kill on the FKHU. Oh, the arrow. There we go. The fissure. And whoopsie daisy. Zeus's greed instantly going to be punished as he's the first blood.
And there we go.
There we go.
You know what I like there the most is Cuckoo first threw the arrow and then they used the fissure.
Because you want to get the max value. Otherwise, there's always a risk he walks it off.
So there was a chance there for Zeus to dodge it, but even that was denied with that super early arrow.
So they're doing the Void plus Silencer lane, and I don't know about you, personally, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, the problem with this is, we just said, if a Silencer gets ran at, he dies.
Yeah,
a Void early on cannot protect you.
The Void cannot do a whole lot here, but Silencer actually can with their King Curse. He has to be worried about that. Arrow, however, the only thing that Void can do, which is kind of fine, is he can stand in front of that arrow, in front of Mirana and eat it. If Shaker tries to go on the Silencer with the fissure, then you can just eat the arrow from Mirana as Void, so that's kind of good.
I'm looking at power spikes. You know me, I love my power spikes. And well, Earthshaker in this top lane is the power spike. Level 3 is where things get very dangerous for EVOS. Oh, no, the arrow misses this time. He jumped the gun a little bit, and as a result, Whitemon will walk away.
I think if he blocked him with the
He almost did, look at this.
Yeah, but if he blocked him with the fissure from the other side, he would have eaten that arrow, but then they wouldn't be able to approach him. So
yeah.
It's kind of...
Meanwhile, the mid lane power spikes are already coming online for Lina. This is kind of the thing about Huskar is this constant ramp up. The worry is that you're against a hero that has clear spikes when you get your hands on the Light Strike Array and points in the Fiery Soul. So like level 3 is huge for Lina, of course.
Lina can definitely win this lane, but if she messes up, like one Light Strike Array and eats like two Burning Spears, she can fall here definitely. So has to be careful.
Can definitely be scary. The bot lane looks like actually a switch of things up. Cuckoo's come down here. They've stuck the Terrorblade up top, so Gabby will have to now deal and contend with the Silencer and the Void. Which is interesting because we were saying actually the Zeus would be a decent matchup against the Mirana because of the nuke damage.
They have tiny rotating top as well. So Void, is he gonna leave?
I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like EVOS should have hidden the tiny and gone for a kill before they rotate around. Because you can. The Avalanche.
They could have done that. Usually that's what teams do once they realize that the other team is rotating. Before they rotate themselves, they bring the numbers, they get a kill, and then you rotate out. So that's usually what you do, but this is kind of alright as well.
I guess it's more a mistake if you had level 3. At that stage, I'm like, yeah, you've got Toss, you should definitely stay there. But in fairness, which is the Avalanche, is a bit of a tough ask to get a kill on a Terrorblade or a Pugna.
So we see Void left all alone, lonesome on bottom lane, which isn't really great for him. He's gonna take a lot of damage. He is one of those heroes that's pretty tanky and sustainable on his own, but still, it's not great. Does Silencer have a port? He does. So either Silencer or Zeus, one of these guys has to go bottom and help him out.
Looks like right now Silencer's staying here. I guess he's just trying to get max value before he leaves, but...
Nah, he took so much damage, he's gonna have to head home.
That's the problem now. So you're going to do a walk of shame because Zeus is finally coming out. There's no kill opportunity here right now. Gabby has got the Metamorphosis coming off cooldown. He's even holding a point just in case he needs a reflection.
Yeah, so the thing is, Silencer is going to walk back home, and after that he might rotate bottom, but this Void has been left alone for way too much time. And the thing about Mirana is, when you give her that Aquila, which they just did, to get it for free, she's just going to hit so much harder, and it's going to be much... It's such an easy lane for TNC right now.
There doesn't seem to be pressure going anywhere. The only exception is the mid lane, but of course Armel can just sustain himself quite easily. You know, just ferry up a little bit of regen. You've obviously got the use of the inner vitality as well. It's very hard to kill a Huskar in this type of lane before 6.
Yeah, it's very hard. It can happen if he gets greedy a bit. But it can happen. Once he gets that Aquila and Armlet...
Oh, Arrow in the bot lane. Logic taking a lot of damage. They can't do enough though. The stun from the Enchanter. And they might actually have him banged to rights. He's used the Time Walk already. He's still on cooldown. He will fall.
Yeah, they get him. But they got him because Silencer isn't there. He hasn't been with this Void for at least 2 minutes now.
I mean, you're a 298 movement speed hero wandering the whole bloody map here. And he just wastes all the time. This is not value getting the sentry out like that. He needs to be there aggressing hard. And this is the result because, like you said, that Aquila pickup completely changes the dynamic of this lane.
I believe the thing is they wanted to leave the Silencer on top because they wanted to pressure the Terrorblade a bit harder, thinking that Void can sustain himself, but that just didn't happen.
Worrying occurrences as a result of that. The top lane, however, it's gone chill again. Gabby's still farming well. Of course, Tiny is as well. Evile will be a contester in the mid-game, but the concern is that you're not slowing down this TB at all.
TB is having fun. Huskar is having fun on mid as well. So you have these two cores that are doing fairly well, and Mirana actually isn't contested either. So all 3 lanes are doing fairly well for...
Oh, Arrow just misses the mark because he did actually get silenced up, so Earthshaker didn't get the rune either.
He did have the fissure there, though. Maybe...
Yeah, but he was silenced, so...
He couldn't get the right angle on the silencer either.
I mean, you could go for the fissure first because it's longer stun, but I still think like that's a scenario where silencer could sidestep. This is where they've got to be careful with that combo. It can go very wrong because, of course, the last word.
They aren't really...
on the 2. Oh, Arrow coming through. No, we almost time walked into it. They'll turn around. But you can't chase this too far.
That would have been so sick. Lina is pressuring mid, but...
Actually, Kuku could go for a kill on the Whitemon here. He's going to be a little bit careful about it, but he's got 3 leaps to work with.
No, he's just gonna...
They might. Look, he's getting ready. Fisher's coming off cooldown. Tims! Oh, no. No, they don't. A little bit too deep for them. But this is sending a message every time. Is when Fisher's off cooldown, you better play defensive or you might die.
Yeah, and that's not really a position you want to be in as a Void. Definitely not. There's a DD on Lina, and there's level 6 on Lina.
This might be the best opportunity. I mean, you do have the life break on Huskar as well.
Silencer bottom lane.
Silencer being chased on 2 here. He's going to die.
Two neutrals, though. So
oh, okay. The neutral's got the final tap. Well, the turnaround. Kuku taking a lot of damage from my logic. He needs to be careful himself about how far he aggresses this because, of course, they do have the fissure coming off cooldown.
But that's... Mid lane, double damage has been used.
Oh, here we go. Moving up the high ground. Armel's going to turn around the life break, trying to go to work. Who's going to die first? The Fairy Fire? No. They'll both go down. Lina does get the kill before Huskar claims vengeance.
That's definitely better for Lina, as she does get the kill first and the experience. So overall, it's all right. Huskar does get the kill as well, so he's moving slowly towards that armlet. I
mean, that's one of the most frustrating things about dealing with Huskars is usually when you kill them, you find someone dying in return.
Yeah, definitely. You die instead as well.
Tims. Let's go for this. The fish is going to be there. And the arrow, they move for the Starstorm. My logic gets cleaned up. Beautifully done.
Yeah, these lanes are looking so hard for EVOS again, just like in the last game. I think their lanes aren't really set up properly. Their rotation, like the lanes, this game, the lane was set up properly. But the problem was they didn't rotate them fast enough. And that silencer not coming back on bottom, honestly, I think it's a huge mistake for a support. I know you guys are telling me don't flame supports, don't flame people.
I mean, this is your speciality.
But like if your carry rotates and you don't follow him, he's gonna suffer so hard in those 2 minutes that you're gonna be pressured so much harder later on.
I mean, I don't ever stop talking enough about this because it's so crucial right now. The meta favors whoever takes the first 2 to 3 creep waves superiorly. Is that it's very hard because then you're behind. You can reset a lane. That's not saying complete defeatist. But there's so much priority put on those first 3 creep waves for damn good reason. Because that level disparity is huge. You hear me talk about these power spikes and they're usually level 3. And if it takes you, like, especially for Sansa, just being behind in terms of level, Cuckoo. Gonna move away, the Chrono's gonna come out though. Elfshaker's not here. Cuckoo, he's got a big one. He should be fine, he'll just leap away. He's got another one. There you go. It says, thank you very much. Chrono on cooldown. Don't have to panic too much anymore.
Yeah, he was forced to use all 3 charges.
He was indeed.
So that's a small victory, but oh, did he catch him again? He did.
No, he got the cause.
Nice.
He's dead. He's got the one that won't matter though.
Nice. White Mon, man. And he uses the smoke so the tower does not kill him. Pretty good play by Silencer. Now that I have flamed him,
he's learned.
He's instantly playing better. There we go.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tim's is just taking Facehugger on a journey.
Yeah, but he has to be careful.
Yeah, the Laguna. No, he's still alive, Tims! He's still in this. The life break across the fish. He's gonna die. The light strike array gets him, but Armel cleans up one in return and does force a Vile to arrive in the mid lane for nothing.
Yeah, Lina was not watching what Huskar was doing. So, as he was chasing Shaker, Shaker was actually just baiting her in a really good position in which Huskar can rotate. And even if that Laguna landed and killed him instantly, because of that first initial stun, she still dies because it bought enough time for Huskar to rotate in. So.
Be counting the lucky stars he actually got the kill in the first place. Top lane, Decrepify coming out, and then Blast as well. Vile Moon across, which means Ninja Boogie needs to be careful. Avalanche is going to be there. They'll toss him on the spot, and they'll look to zap him down. The Fairy Fire keep him alive. There's the final zap coming out from Vlaik, who's still alive, but barely. Light Strike Array. Connect him to Gabby. They need to get rid of the Nether Ward. He doesn't have the Sunder level. They'll know this. As typically, we've said before, Terrorblades do not like to level that Sunder early on.
Yeah, it just slows your farm down a bit, so because of that, they don't do it. Are we going to see a rune fight? Nope. Top lane should be uncontested. Bottom lane, it looks the same way, actually.
Yeah, team's calming down a little bit. They just want to farm up. They're willing to tip the hat and say, let's call the lane phase a draw. Which, in fairness, it really is, despite the awkwardness.
We do have...
mid. White Mon's gone. Just Tuskar things.
At the same time, Terrorblade used his form on the bottom lane, and this tier 1 should fall. And we see the Terrorblade and Pugna just taking this tower so easily, right?
Yeah, I like this move as well. It's like it's identifying with the catapult wave. We haven't won the lanes, but we can now win the pushing game because you actually look at the lineup of EVOS. They are very pick-off oriented, not split push.
Check me out, though.
Oh yeah, iLogic. He's got the Chrono. This could be big. Armel jumping forward onto him. There we go. The Chrono goes out. The Moonlight Shadow will not protect him, but not doing enough damage quick enough. The Thundergle's Wrath doesn't even do anything but tickle him. Armel's going to be close. No, he gets Invis, but will still die the last word. He does pick up his armor now, which he would have liked to have had there, but that was too close of a comfort. The amount they invested and still almost not getting the kill on the Huskar.
Yeah, the problem is he already has 3 levels in Berserker's Blood, and then you're chronoing him, and the only extra damage that you're getting is Zeus. So Zeus does absolutely nothing. Top lane, Mirana,
I mean, the
leaps out.
Yeah, it's fine. The Thundergle's Wrath literally did no damage. He didn't even feel it at all, which is...
Yeah. So far, Pugna just casually gonna lane versus this Void, who's gonna be forced out as there's an armored Huskar coming in.
Needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's just gonna continue farming.
Like, I'm looking at it right now, going for the Morbid Mask. Like, this is... We do see Voice do this occasionally.
I think it's good, really good versus Huskar.
You absolutely need it here.
Versus Huskar, you're gonna have that bonus damage that's necessary to take him down. So, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise you're piling all the pressure on the Lina to kill the Huskar. And the problem with that is, you're talking about a glass cannon hero, and we saw what happens when they get in a fight anyway. They both die.
Yep. I mean, you need a buffer. You need a buffer between the Lina and the Huskar, if you're the Lina. So, like a Chrono, and then you can go ham, right? But if you're just fighting the Huskar, he's gonna win 9 out of 10 times. So she needs like some crit or something. I wonder what she's gonna go for after. Definitely not right now to go for crit, but later on perhaps.
Yeah, I don't want to see this Bloodstar. I think it's just too greedy.
I think she needs to go for right-click damage, like normal right-click damage Lina build.
That's fair. Meanwhile, Tim's long way to go for that Blink Dagger, of course. Starting to get a little bit aggressive, but this is a stage where you can really get these big team fights as everything comes together. He's the reset factor against these Chronos that are going to start to appear more often.
The thing that I'm worried about is the fact that they've used the Chrono to kill the Huskar, and they did it well. They did get him, but he still comes up alive in like 30 seconds and he takes down your tower while your Chrono is still on cooldown. Like, he still has 5 more seconds on cooldown, so...
It's kind of interesting is like the roles have relegated differently.
Yeah.
So, for example, this Void, instead of farming all the time like you expect, once the Chrono's off cooldown,
he has to go rotate.
And you don't see that often. Usually a Void is like, okay, if the opportunity presents itself,
I'm gonna use the Chrono, but meanwhile I'm gonna farm. However, in this particular game, he does not have that luxury. He has to be rotating all the time and using that Chrono as soon as it's off cooldown, because you're playing versus Huskar and you're playing versus Terrorblade as well. And those guys, if you let them farm, they're gonna win.
Speaking of the Terrorblade, they know someone's farming in this triangle. They're gonna find Gabby here. The Thunder God's Wrath comes out. The move forward, the Chrono's gonna be there. They'll clean up the kill. The Moonlight Shadow does not help, but it might help Cuckoo in the bot lane as they were looking for him. Facehugger on the hunt. Oh, he reveals, needs to be careful here.
Right.
The Laguna opportunity was there.
That's good for EVOS. But that's really good for them because, let's just see.
She'll TP out. She'll be fine. No, the line about. No, so close.
Why did he wait though? He had the range there, definitely.
He could have done it maybe a millisecond sooner, but yeah. I guess they're worried about whether she's gone deep in the tree line or something. But
yeah, a little misplay, but yeah, he had the right thought in mind, definitely. That Chrono was super good because Terrorblade had used his meta. And now it's on cooldown. So he just used it and they instantly kill him after. But the problem is, because you use that Chrono in next to the shrine and you didn't take a tower, the Huskar is just gonna come top and he's gonna start banging at your tier 1.
Yeah, it won't take long to get it either with the armor online. And there's options as well, because now that the Thunder God's Wrath and the Chrono on cooldown, you could just rotate straight to the Roche pit afterwards. Uh oh, TP in. Lycan needs to be careful to Crepify. The Fish down to half HP. The Avalanche going to come out. Life Drain. Global Silence finally there. The toss away. They say Villiers says just get this Huskar away. It won't matter though. They're going to get killed on Whitemon regardless. iLogic, he already used the Time Walk. Uh oh, going to move away. No, Armor Toggle coming out. But iLogic, he can't use the Time Walk in time. Gets zapped down by the ward from Ninja Boogie. And TMC needs to be careful. Move away from this. Facehugger thought about using the Laguna. We'll throw it out regardless.
I mean, he died because of that Time Walk, right? Because of the ward.
He did.
He misplayed that. He didn't have to die there. But overall, Armel, he didn't use the Armelt.
He didn't. That was actually surprising. It looked like he should have been able to get a clean toggle there.
He could have toggled there. All right.
You know, in fairness, not everyone gets to use the macros, all right? Some people...
Overall, I think it could have been much cleaner for them if you used that armlet there. Like, he could have survived, but it's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's all right for EVOS, right? Because Void did die, but they defended the tier 1 versus that Huskar, and now they're gonna have
Well, Huskar's free to go. They choose Light Striker Ray, gonna move in. Facehugger needs to move across quick enough. Won't be able to find the kill on Ninja Boogie though. And they're on the hunt. Lysu here, gonna try and use the smoke. Gets interrupted instantly by the leap forward. There's the arrow from the fissure. And Zeus is gone.
Well, Tiny will survive.
Yeah, he'll survive, but it's also wasted time. He just sits there watching 2 of his heroes die.
A small silver lining there. However, we talked about this Void and how he should be on a prowl every time he has that Chronosphere. Well, he had it there, but he didn't go with his team. But truth be told, Lina was a bit too deep there, and that was punished.
Now, you will lose your tower this time around. There's no way Armel leaves without it. There's too many heroes here for you to defend as well on the side of EVOS.
Yeah, and the Lina is dead, so it's kind of hard to set this one up.
There's no trade opportunity either.
Yeah, it's very hard to set up a defense there.
Like, you're on the hunt. Evide was trying to find Gabby, because Gabby is keeping that bot lane pushed out so they can't take the tower.
This is arguably a small mistake by EVOS, because they killed that Huskar without using the Chrono. If they manage to use that Chrono to kill him again after he gets alive, that would be so huge for them. Whitemon?
Whitemon's been found. The arrow won't connect. Light Drain. No, there's a Chrono on the free. He catches all of them, but Huskar's not in there. Pugna might fall, but how are you going to get the rest? The Global Sun's going to come out. They look to split up. The Light Striker Ray does not connect. There's going to be a Laguna to get rid of Tim's before he can use the Echo Slam. And now the Yules is there. No leaps available for Cuckoo here. He's going to be going bye-bye. Dodges out the Light Strike Array, forces a little bit more time, but...
That's actually pretty decent. Chrono for the three of them. That's really good for EVOS. Yeah, you buy back on the silencer, but it's a position 5. It doesn't really matter, especially with the rework to buybacks. And you're gonna get tier 1 on mid. Pretty good. The only problem is Terrorblade and Huskar are farming that whole time, so...
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you catch the Terrorblade, it's worth it again. But because at the moment you're in a game with dodge the Huskar. And that's why they'll walk away from mid as well. The
Fissure catches.
it touches a tip, but you still haven't got that blink. You're still a decent amount away on Tims.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, they backed out. They leave that tier 1, which is good. They don't let it fall.
I feel the difference between this game and the previous game is EVOS are showing a lot more temperament. They are a lot more disciplined than what we saw previous game.
They definitely are, and I think their lanes might have went a bit better. And these few fights have, like with the Chronosphere, the rotations were on point. Like
Here's the problem though, with the Chrono on cooldown. We said about this being the potential thing they could do. They go straight into the Roche pit. Honor God's Wrath reveals, but...
This is a bad place now for EVOS. Giving that Aegis away to the Huskar. A Huskar that got that double damage, by the way. That's why they took it so easily. So... Giving it away creates this 5-minute time in which he can do whatever he wants to. And if he jumps at you and you don't use that chrono, he's just gonna take one hero at a time, right? So
yeah, we said in the draft, the EVOS, they kind of have to treat their big ults like insurance policies. And it was worth it for free kills to blow all your insurance. But that meant that the follow-up rows just seemed too obvious and there was nothing you could really do about it. Like maybe pray for a steal, but like you said, that DD, like that made it impossible for them to ever try and sneak in with an avalanche toss combo.
It's always a problem when you're playing heroes with huge cooldowns. So your game might seem a bit more disciplined, right? Because you have those huge ultimates to play around, and it's much easier for a team to converge around a big ultimate hero, right? So if you have a Void, it's much easier to play than if you have some random hero like Slark running around making pickups. But if you waste that one chrono, mid lane, Invis, Shaker,
jump in, Echo on it too! Faces Void, got Lino as well! Huge pickoffs, and I was about to highlight the fact that, well, Void, he did actually buy out part of the components, but I was about to say, this net worth this building is substantial. 4K on top of the fact that the items are not coming out right now for EVOS. And actually, Silencer's dead! Kuku just dove him.
Yeah, they lost the Silencer as well. They have an option to go for bottom, but instead they... it seems they're gonna go for a tier 2 mid and settle with that, which is also a reasonable thing to do, definitely. Versus Zeus, it's kind of hard to push high ground.
Well, this is problematic. Avalanche to slow it down, but look how hard they hit.
Yeah.
They aren't going to be bothered to go in here. They might just go top first, though. You can already see Tim's moving up there, getting the bounties, and then moving across to cut the creep wave.
Well, Terrorblade went back, Mirana is away, so you can opt to go for top, but it's a risk. I don't think they should do it as TNC. They should just fall back, finish their BKB on... Actually, it should be flying.
It should be gone, yeah.
So they have the BKB, they also have a Manta Respi coming too.
They also have a blink for Tim. Sadly, the core was full, so he has to do the,
the
walk
go
back.
Yeah. Well, he has no echo. He used it. He used it very well, so...
I think it's kind of like, if you look at it, actually, the fact that Korea is full like that is kind of representative in a lot of ways of the state.
Of how rich they are, is that what you mean?
Well, I was going to say, it was like there was constant action, right? It was the mobility. There was never a moment to stop and pick these items up. And that was not the worst move EVOS could have made. They needed to try and deal with this and temper the kind of power behind TNC's push.
Yeah,
but it backfired.
It backfired. That Echo Slam was so good, and...
Here we go.
Overall, we have a smoke on smoke action here.
Oh, yeah. EVOS, they've got the chrono available. iLogic looking the wrong way. Moving in. Tims, there's the Fidget. It's going to reel with Vile. Going to go in. The Avalanche is going to be there. But Tiny, he's still got Life Drain committed as well. And they abort. Yeah. They don't see any opportunity for a chrono here.
They saw the Terrorblade. He was close enough. So Void time walked in, tried to use the chrono, but then just decided not to because the rest of his team could not follow that. And they just lose their Tiny.
Now they lose the tower.
And now they'll lose the tower.
They still have the big ults, though. So TNC may be reluctant to go to the high ground, but with the BKB pickup, with the mana being there for the Terrorblade, that this may not stop them.
I think you wait 30 more seconds, as that's when the Aegis is going to be out. And after that, you try to fight. That's the only thing you can do. Like, if you go with Chrono before that happens, you just lose the fight after the Aegis is gone.
especially seeing as Tim does have the level 2 Echo Slam at the ready. If anyone shows off this high ground, they're in trouble. In fact, speaking of the high ground, iLogic is just on the other side of the map in the dire jungle farming.
He's getting that. He has the Shadow Blade, right? Yeah, he has the Omelette in the base, so he can port back.
It's like, to an extent, it's smart and it's also a little bit lucky. You don't know whether your opponents have vision around the area of the map. You assume not because it hasn't been played, that no one's played around there. But imagine what would happen if you'd send that Void back there. Because they could kill 2 of your teammates before you can TP back. Arrow hitting on the silencer. Uh-oh, Avalanche hitting on the Huskar in return. The Aegis has been popped. There's going to be a fissure hitting on the Lina. But they should just back away. Just trying to burn out the Aegis and get as much value as possible. Almost taking the tower. In fact, Never Blasts might finish it off.
I think this might repel them even, unless they get a good pick off.
Yeah, they're looking for arrow pokes, but they'll just do the Never Blast. Like, this is the power of Pugna. He doesn't have to commit to a push.
I think Void read this well, because they're just going to commit to the tower and then go for shrines. Perhaps you can fight them on the other shrine, but they're so far behind. I wouldn't even try fighting this right now. Just defend high ground. It's difficult. They're in a very difficult position. If they let them take all these shrines, and they're gonna lose. And if they try to fight them, they're also gonna lose.
They're gonna try though. Facehugger, Shadow Bladed up. Cuckoo is gonna leap away. He already sensed that something was not right, and I think they're on the clock. They are very clearly on the clock, because the thing that I just keep looking about the Terrorblade. He's going for the Skadi. He's just picked up on the Ultimate Orbs. Yep. If you do not make something impactful happen on the side of EVOS by the 30-minute mark, even with a Void, I don't know if you can actually bounce back.
No, you can't. I mean, it's possible. Everything is possible.
But yeah, it's based on big mistakes.
Yeah, that's why we love this game so much. But it's based on TNC just doing horrible mistakes, as you said. I mean, they haven't used this chrono for 5 minutes now, at least. And
this is more to be like highlighted is TNC's perfect approach to the cores, the Huskar and the Terrorblade. Because usually you'd have a gap where it's like, okay, Huskar's calming down, Terrorblade still needs to go a little bit. But honestly, full credit coming out to Gabby, the farm on this guy.
Oh.
Echo in the bot, they're going to find a kill. Lina, dead. That's actually an entrance kill that matters. And in fact, they might be able to force a buyback out of her immediately.
They're definitely going to force the buyback. They're instantly going to cut this creep wave and go uphill.
Yep, Gabby ready to knock on the door. He has the Metamorphosis at the ready. They are setting up to defend. Cuckoo keeping the mid lane pushed in as well. They want to pressure both sides. Arrow, just a scout, won't connect on anyone. The slow push continues once more.
They don't have to commit super hard here, actually.
They never have to with this lineup. The illusions, along with the Pugno and the Neverblast.
Yep. The problem with that is, though, they're not forcing Lina to buy back. So.
Oh, jump in. Avalanche going to come. The fun goes wrap. The global silence gets used. Lina, she's going to buy back, but you already lost your silence. The BKB coming around. Armador clean up. No, the chrono goes down, but the BKB means you can't actually hit him with the magic damage. He's so damn tanking the fissure. Tim, double stun moving forward. You need to get out. I logically use time to walk away. Armel, he's still alive on the side. Tim should fall here, but he saves his cause. Avalanche isn't available. Toss is there. Armel. Nope, there's the Yules. They dodge out. They miss time. He's going to be fine. 4 stuff away with the life break actually getting away from the Light Strike array. The buyback comes up the Earthshaker, but nothing is expended on the side of TNC other than that.
Well, that buyback on Shaker was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, it's a little bit gung-ho.
Yeah, but with that, well, Roche can respawn in 30 seconds, but doesn't have to, so it's not really the best buyback, to be honest. If he dies here on the... Nah, he's fine. He should be fine.
He's being a little bit ballsy.
Yeah, overall, that whole uphill engagement on the high ground was very sloppy by EVOS, because Tiny went in to blow up a Pugna, and yeah, Pugna bought back as well, but like, you're blowing up position 5, and you're forcing your Lina to buy back.
And your silence is dead again. He bought back. Yeah. That's problematic. In fact, they don't even try. They just let Cuckoo walk away. They're like, no, this is not happening right now. And that comes down to the big ults again. The moment they're on court, have you noticed how EVOS... I mean, in that case, they don't need to be that defensive. They can maybe make that move, but they can't risk it. They can't afford to at all.
Not anymore. Maybe they could have up to this point, but now that Lina has no buyback, if she dies in any aggressive engagement, the game is pretty much over. So you have to be very careful about how you play from now on. The chrono is still 30 seconds on cooldown, and TNC definitely have that written down, so because of that, they're going uphill.
They'll damage the arrow with a fissure. No, they do interrupt the life drain, but Ninja Boogie, that's just the support. Lina's dead. The Echo coming out, the good control. They're going to get killed Tiny as well, and they still don't have the chrono available. This is damning. How do you get them out of the base? Even with the chrono now, you don't have the follow-up damage.
Man, Tim's such a fissure. I mean, the arrow follow-up was easy because teams with that fissure just controlled Lina, and she has no buyback now. So you have 60 seconds without either Lina or Tiny. And how do you stop this? You don't. You just let it fall.
I'm starting to think Tim's in the... Oh no, again the fissure, the arrow faces Void, he's dead!
Man, he's
now they'll chase, they're not done yet, they want the entire team. Flaker's gonna go down, but White Mom will stay alive. They are hanging by a thread here. Maybe they'll have one building left in their base, but this is melt mode time.
It's not about his positioning even as Shaker. It's about the fact that he does everything so fast. The moment he's in range of that fissure, the fissure is connected already on him, right? Like he already hits that void, the arrow follows up, and that's that void.
I mean, all you had to do is take a look at the fight at the bot, where he hits the fissure, and then he immediately echo slam. He's managing two sides of this guy. He might as well be the player, the team manager,
the team manager,
and the captain. Is not Ninja Boogie. You just go on a coffee break. I'll play both our heroes.
He can be social media manager, content creator as well.
Managing everything.
He wants to.
The power of Tim's compels you. The power of Earthshaker compels you. And guess what? I'm pretty sure that... Is that going to be an axe flying out? No, he hasn't. He's actually opted to stop. He's going for a 4-staff.
Well, that's kind of fine. He has no buyback.
Bundagod's Wrath coming out. So, we'll know about Roche, but what can you do about it?
They've been mad gods. Like, what do you do about that? Like, how do you go and... They did, right?
I mean, yeah, they got it all. They knocked on every goddamn build in that base. And look at the builds on these heroes as well. iLogic, he has no way of clearing waves. You look at the Tiny, sure, you can do a little bit. The Zeus, yeah, I can give you thumbs up on that, and the Lina as well. But these aren't, it's not that you've got one here, it's not that you've got a Tinker who can hold this all while you go looking for kills. And the TNC, they're looking for a kill right now. This is the big one, iLogic. Gonna jump in straight away. The stun is gonna come out down to half HP, time walk away. Does use the Shadow Blade, the pings are coming out. They're gonna put down a sentry, they see in the stun control, he's dead. And GG, instantly, that one kill is like, no, that's done. We're out of this.
I was watching the same kill happening on the other side of the map, in which sentry was also placed, killing that Tiny. And they killed the Void on bot as well.
It's just, yeah, right. It's like, what I love is, I mean, some people are like, oh, these guys are unfair, this game isn't over yet. It's like, when you get to that point and literally one kill and they instantly just type GG.
I've been in so many of games which actually went the same way. I've been in so many Void versus Huskar games. Like, I think I played versus Navi or someone, and they did the same thing. They had a Huskar and we had a Void, and the problem is my team uses that chrono once in the wrong spot, and from that moment onwards you can't do anything. Like if you do not use that chrono to kill a main target such as Huskar or the Terrorblade, they just take so much of map control once that huge ultimate is on cooldown.
I mean, this is the thing as well. Teams aren't forcing these big kind of death ball. Like, we're not in the meta a year or two ago where it's like, okay, let's just pick Tide Hunter, Silencer. It's all about that one big fight. Everyone farms for 30 minutes, and then we converge for one decisive move. No, you look at TNC's heroes, right? You got the Pugno's always going to pressure towers. Sure, the Terrorblade has a timer on him. That's the only one that matters, though. Echo Slam is big, but the Earthshaker remains relevant. Then you look on the side of EVOS, the Silencer. Where's his relevance other than global silence? To the point that he's buying back, saying ulting, and I'm done.
He is a silencer. So
yeah, he does something in lane.
He uses global silence. He did his part.
That's my point, though. That's all you got. So then that's on cooldown. You can defend this all you want, right? But let's be honest. Whenever we see this hero in draft, it is a good hero, but it's an insurance policy hero, and usually you don't want to double down on that. You pick the Void as well. That's exactly what you're doing.
The problem is Silencer and Void are great together. You go in with the chrono, you follow up with global silence, so there's no saves for the guys that are in the chrono. But the problem is, it's over 100 seconds cooldown on both of these spells, early on at least. It's impossible to not get punished after you've used them.
And I think, yeah, that's the other thing is, like, credit has to be given to TNC for identifying that Huskar pick, because you look and you go, EVOS, they've got the Tiny, all right, that's a little bit concerning. We need a strength hero, someone tanky. They've got a Zeus, all right, they're doing a lot of magic damage.
Yeah.
They got Lina. Oh, they're doing a crap ton of magic damage. What hero is in the pool that we could pick right now? And you just look and you go, Huskar.
Actually, Huskar is usually always banned versus them, so now that it hasn't been banned, we kind of see why not. Like, we kind of see why people are banning it all the time, and that's...
Yeah, you did say it's the new choice for easy MMR farming. That's how Liz has been staying on top. I checked his. Nah. He plays diverse heroes. He plays diverse heroes. There are other people who keep on top with Huskar online.
Well, Huskar is definitely one of the strongest end picks, and it was picked as the last pick in the game. I think like last pick for them, and then we had Lina last pick versus him, right?
I think it was actually 10th pick.
It was 10th.
Yeah, it was 10th pick because they picked the Lina first.
So they tried to put that Lina versus him. I think it could have worked, but the problem is we talk about this chrono, but honestly, like it wasn't only the cooldown. I'm trying to be a bit kind to them, but they weren't using that chrono for a huge chunk of time in which they could. I believe, like
that was
from my honest opinion, like this is what happened. They used the chrono once to kill that Huskar on mid. That was good. Then they killed him once versus. Then they killed him once without the chrono. That was great for them. But Void did a huge mistake, and I think that's where their game fell apart. What he did is, while his team understood that they're in front because in advantageous position because they have that chrono of cooldown, and they rotated into their jungle, into dire jungle. What Void did is he ported bottom and farmed.
Yep.
That's where they lost.
That was like 90 minutes, I think.
That moment there, if he went with his team and he used chrono on Huskar when Huskar was alive again, they could have won the game right there. Well, maybe not win it instantly, but they would have the farm. The Huskar would have been killed 3 times in a row, which would have.
I mean, Huskar at that point, he would have. It felt like he was shut out of the game.
Exactly, and they would be in a really good position. However, instead, Void goes bottom. His team fights, dies. Next time they fight, the chrono is just irrelevant, and because of that, Huskar just takes over.
And after that, we could barely see any good chrono opportunities. It just like by that point, TNC had their blinks coming on. For example, the Earthshaker. They didn't need to be as clustered anymore. They could actually split into fights, and I think we saw it perfectly in the top lane when you just saw them as Congo lining one by one. They picked off the Tiny, and the whole while you said you're watching the Faceless Void. He was on the back foot. He could have chronoed the Terrorblade,
but nothing would have happened. Yeah, he had way too much HP, and everyone else, like Void, can time walk in, but not everyone else can. Right? Not the other heroes, they cannot follow up. So, yep.
Right, folks, I'm just checking what's happening because it looks like there is still Lotac versus Tiger started half an hour ago. So,
are we going to join in, or are we going to cast the next one? What do you think?
I'm trying to think because I'll check the schedule, but I think that might be the final series for today. So what we'll do is we'll go do a short break, guys. There'll be more action regardless because, I mean, like, come on, Lotac versus Tiger. That's got to be the game. We've got to have at least one series in this entire thing that goes to best of 3, game 3. So, guys, what we'll do is we'll go do a short break. We'll run you some commercials so you can find out about all the fabulous products you didn't know you needed. And then...
what do you mean you don't need them? It's all the best commercials.
You didn't know you needed.
Oh, you didn't know you needed.
That's the point of these beautiful ads.
Right.
So we'll go to them. It shouldn't be too long before we're back. At the minimum, we'll come on to let you know whether there's another game to be done. So we'll keep an eye on the Lotac versus Tiger game, which is in the second game right now. And hopefully we'll be back with a game 3 to cover the action wrapping up there. Stay tuned, guys.
ESL One Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Alienware, Logitech G, and Pay Safecard.